Welcome, everyone, to the first Board of Commissioners meeting for August 2024. So I will call the Commissioners meeting for August 7th, 2024 to order. It's always nice to see Sister Monica and Veteran Don Bradley, who are going to lead us in the pledge and invocation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty and everlasting God, hear our prayer of praise for all who have given time and work in your county. We praise you, O God, for the inspired courage of all who govern in this county. We thank you for all the bountiful gifts of life and ask that you free us from all doubts and prejudices. We praise and thank you for all the blessings of today and for the opportunity and responsibility made responsible through our commissioners. In all their deliberations, may they be aware of your divine presence and in loving kindness, do what is right and just for everyone in your county.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 2 on the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the July 31st, 2024 Board of Commissioners meeting as submitted.
Okay, Commissioner Burford is here remotely, so that's who you hear in the background. So I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries.
And I'll make a motion to amend the minutes from the July 3rd, 2024 Board of Commissioners meeting to accurately summarize the public comment portion of the meeting.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Motion carries. So we'll turn it over to Mr. Gomunski for his Chief Clerk's report.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you very much. I have 3 items that I want to highlight, and I'll be inviting someone up to speak about each of them. So the first motion is item 4 on the agenda, adoption of a resolution on behalf of the York County Assessment Office to approve Alerta owned by Weaver Warehouse, LLC. And I will invite Jay from the Assessment Office to come up and say a few words about that motion and what we are ultimately approving today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Jay King. I'm the appraisal supervisor in the County Assessment Office. And to describe the subject property, the location is 127 North Broad Street at the corner of West Philly and North Broad. The lot size is, 1 second, .84 acres, kind of an odd-shaped lot, but a very large lot for the city of York. Currently, there is one building being assessed on the property. It is the old Geo's Automotive 1-story masonry building. I actually took the warehouse off of the property record card after the fire, so even though a portion of it still stands, there is no value attributed to that portion of the building, okay? I'm not sure exactly about the use of the current building. I think it was vacant the last time we observed it. Oops, excuse me.
Don't be nervous, Jay.
I'm
You
fine.
know us.
But the warehouse, part of the warehouse was raised that goes along Walnut after the fire, but the original portion on the corner there is still standing. That's pretty much that's on the property. There's really not a whole lot going on there right now, but I'll answer any questions.
Okay.
Just one point of clarification. The property and the improvements, my understanding is it's for 40 new apartments to be built on that property.
So I was looking at the application, and I believe it stated that they were going to put 8 units in the 4-story part, and I wasn't sure of if it was 38 or 40 in the new part.
So I'm the owner of the property.
If you could go to the mic.
And
And if you could state your name, please.
I'm Matthew Steinkamp, and I've owned the property since 2014. So the corner lot that is being assessed currently has 2 units in it and an office for myself, but it's also a unit. But the remaining portion of the lot had suffered the fire. We're looking to redevelop into 40 more apartments. I have a rendering and some layouts if you guys are interested in looking at it, but I'm sure it's there. Would you like me to?
We've seen them.
I think it was sent to us, but
Yes, we've seen them.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, sure. Okay, so it is, there will be 15 two-bedroom units and 27, including the 27 or 25 one-bedroom units.
Great. Thank you.
thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you both. Thank you.
The next item I'd like to highlight is actually items 6 through 8. These are motions to approve the release of funds to the Farm and Natural Lands for bargain sale conservation easements. And as always, I invite Sean Kenny to come up and speak to those motions.
Good morning. Oh, it's working. Sorry, I'm a little nervous too. First off, I wanted to introduce again Anna Levitsky from our staff who joined me last time, and I failed to introduce her, even though I'm pretty sure she doesn't want me to do that. I'm doing it. She's our land stewardship manager. She works with our landowners after the easement process, but is involved early on as well. As you know, our easements are a perpetual deed restriction, so it goes on for generations. So we're hoping Anna lives for hundreds of years, and that way we never lose contacts with our landowners. So we have 3 properties today spread pretty far throughout the county. And I guess I should start with motion 6, which is the Clymer Sager property up in Monaghan Township. This is it's a somewhat historic property. It was owned by the McCormick family up there. These folks bought it a few years back and have put some significant dollars into restoring the property. It's mostly wooded, 127 acres. One of the unique features is it has almost a mile of frontage to the Yellow Breeches Creek. So this is all the way at the top of Monaghan Township. It sits within the South Mountain Partnership focus area. The pictures that I provided were actually from Anna on a kayaking trip down there, and we'll be visiting that property later this week if the weather cooperates for some more photos if you're interested in them. But it's a wonderful wooded property. Obviously, buffer areas to streams are very important, and Yellow Breeches is one of our biggest assets that we share with our counties to the north. So the protection area will protect wildlife habitat. Flood control on the next few days and on yesterday, which we needed the rain for our farmers, but it's a really scenic property and really beautiful. We're proud to have this one. It's also not far from many other east properties, both down and upstream. We have preserved properties along the Yellow Breeches. Should have brought my spectacles. The next one, oddly enough, almost the exact same size. Both of these are right around 127 acres. Oddly enough, the applications both came in the same day several months ago. This one is in Dover Township. It has almost a mile of frontage to the Conewago Creek, oddly enough. It is mostly farmland. It has very high quality soils. There is a wooded area buffer to the creek. It sits low-lying. It probably is flooded right now, providing some flood control measures. There's also over 3,000 feet of a tributary to the Conewago Creek that flows right through the property and right into the creek on the property. It's in active agriculture. I would say at least half of the property is active agriculture, and we have had some conversations with neighboring landowners, and we hope to do some more work in this area, including across the creek. We've had some meetings with landowners. So initial stages there, it's always good to have one flag in the ground. And finally, we venture south to Chanceford Township. This is 55 acres. And for those of you who are nerds like me and follow comprehensive plan updates, as you know, I'm involved with the York County Planning Commission. Chanceford Township, one of the big things they wanted to do was to protect more area. And it's one of the most protected areas in York County. This one sits, I believe it's 725 acres of agricultural land preservation board easements connecting to this property. And there are talks both with the Ag Preserve Board and ourselves with other neighbors in this area. I would also add that about 80 to 90% of this property falls within the footprint of the York Energy Storage Project. So this wouldn't stop the project, but it would be added to the collective of preserved land down there, which I won't get into details about the project, but you know about it. It is in very high quality soils, almost half the property in class 1, the remaining in class 2, and I believe a little bit in class 3. They produce a number of different agricultural products on the property, and we're really excited to do it. There's also a tributary that runs through the wooded area that goes to Cuffs-Rotten. I think that covers it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you need my glasses?
I might take you up on that.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks.
The last item I would highlight is item 10 on the agenda. It is a motion to approve the submission of a Human Services Block Grant for the fiscal year 24-25 for various services related to mental health, intellectual and developmental disabilities, substance use disorders, homelessness, and low-income individuals. So I'll ask Melissa Leathery, our Executive Director of Human Services, to come up and speak for just a minute or two about this Human Services Block Grant.
Morning.
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 Not sure if the PowerPoint's.
Oh, do you have slides?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, as Greg had said, I'm Melissa Leathery, Executive Director of Human Services, and I am here to present the York County Human Services 2024 Block Grant presentation. Just a quick little overview of the Human Services Division. Thank you. There are 7 departments actually in Human Services, one of which is Health Choices, Mental Health, Intellectual Developmental Disabilities Program, Drug and Alcohol Commission, Office of Children, Youth and Families, Area Agency on Aging, Youth Development Center, and also Protection from Abuse. A little bit about the Human Services Block Grant. There are 3 departments that actually participate and receive funds through this block grant, and that is York Adams, MHIDD, York Adams Drug and Alcohol Commission, and also Human Services Division. A little bit more about the block grant, a little bit of history of that. We've been participating since fiscal year 17-18. Funding is typically flat. It does allow flexibility, however, and we're able to allocate funds as needed. The block grant budget for 24-25, we're predicting to be around the same as 23-24, which will be at approximately $17.3 million with a county match of about $615,000. The nice thing about that, it equals approximately about 5 to 6% of the actual total human services budget. And as you see in the next few slides, there you come to a pie graph, and in that graph, it just gives you a visual representation of the breakdown of those block grant funds, with the primary allocation going to mental health services, which is about $12.5 million, and then the breakdown from there with IDD services at about $2.9 million, and then with the substance use disorder, $670,000, about $870,000 with homeless assistance services. And then in the Human Services Development Fund, about $280,000, which I'm rounding to give you some figures. That gives you a nice visualization of that breakdown of how that's utilized and split and divided. Grandview program, just a little overview of how the departments plan to use those in the upcoming 24-25 year. Priorities with Human Services Department is homelessness with the Homeless Assistance Program, which is HAP. We also look at Human Services Development Fund, which assists us in funding case management for housing, employment, food, and medical needs of individuals. With York Adams Drug and Alcohol Commission, they've been able to utilize grants, this grant money for accomplishments in the past year, such as Narcan distribution, warm handoff, prison initiatives, and it's been extremely useful and helpful in past years. For this upcoming year, priorities for Drug and Alcohol Commission will be around school and community-based prevention enhancement, funding for individuals needing inpatient services to include rehab and detox, transportation and being able to investigate opportunities there, post-overdose responses and ways to assist in that way, and also continued participation in the Collective Impact Steering Committee. With York Adams in mental health and IDD services and autism, we have been able to accomplish certainly things in the past, such as just a few to mention, co-responder program, complex case review team. We've been able to provide some housing support for re-entrants that have been referred to the START Center. As far as priorities to utilize the grant moving forward in 24-25, we are hoping to continue to grow the mobile responses, such as the co-responder program and mobile crisis. Continue complex case review team. We participate in stepping up as a partner, and we will continue that, and continued support of the wellness courts, just to mention a few of those priorities. With autism and ID services, we will hope to continue to manage incidents, processing eligibility, such as the waiver selection process. We will also continue to be able to provide some county-funded services to consumers that are not eligible for the waiver program, and hopefully look at determining ongoing service needs. In Human Services, we appreciate this grant. We look forward to the opportunity for 24-25 once again. And I now open to any questions, answers, comments regarding the grant.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and that would conclude my report.
Okay. All right, I will open up for any public comment as it relates to items on the agenda.
Virginia Schultz, York Township. I want to thank the commissioners, each of you, for giving this opportunity to speak. And I want to express that I understand only a fraction of what your responsibilities are, spread out over so many categories. I appreciate your interest in our comments about the election. As I'm knocking on doors, I find right now an overwhelming, people do not want to use the mail-in ballots. They want to election integrity. They have concerns. We have concerns about recently the GPS, attempt to put GPS on all our monitoring devices has raised some questions of why we would need that and what would the purpose be. And we understand that there can be risks because you have people, human beings doing things, and we understand that not everyone wants to do things in integrity, and machines can kind of get in a corner where they're not in a corner. But I want to express thanks for your continued listening to our concerns, for your vigilance to continue. But we really would like to see hand counting at the polling places. So as you're expending some money, grant money, would you consider making that training available so that we can get the people out? I met people just in the last few days, they don't want to be involved in the elections. Thank you for what you're doing.
Any other public comment related to items on the agenda? Okay, hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to new business.
Madam President, this is Scott. I would like to first give a shout out to our great IT staff for allowing me to participate virtually, and thanks to Galen and the team. I would also like to make a motion to adopt and approve items 1 through 11 on today's agenda.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Sorry. Motion carries. Okay, you heard from Melissa Leathery earlier. We wanted her presentation to occur before the vote was taken on the motion. So she will not be speaking twice today. However, I'm going to use her time just to talk briefly. I mentioned this last week, but just to talk briefly about the plans that the county has put in place for the upcoming 275th anniversary of York County. So the first anniversary we're going to be celebrating is the County of York, and the official date is August 19th, 2024. The other two birthdays that we're going to be celebrating as a follow-up to the county's 275th is the country's 250th birthday, which will occur on July 4th, 2026. And then unique to York County in 2027, we are going to be celebrating the 205th anniversary of the signing of the Articles of Confederation, which occurred right here in Yorktown, Pennsylvania, as it was called at that time. There is a large group of community stakeholders and leaders that have been involved in planning and will continue to be involved in planning. Certainly, if anyone listening, watching, wants to be involved, please let me know. We're always looking for help. A lot of activities and things to coordinate. But there's the group of individuals who have been helping lead this charge on behalf of the community. As I mentioned, we're going to be celebrating 3 birthdays, and we have branded those as History Made Here. You can go to www.historymadehere.com and find all kinds of information about these upcoming celebrations. In addition, we worked with a local firm to create some boulevard banners to let us commemorate this and live on in perpetuity here in the community. So there's a snapshot of what the banners will look like. We have partnered with all of the municipalities on these banners, many of whom will begin to display those starting next week. So you'll see on the far right there what they will look like on poles in and throughout York County. So on to specifically about the county's 275th. So last weekend we kicked it off with the public opening of the History Center. If you haven't been there, I would encourage you to go down. It's just a beautiful renovation of the steam plant off of Pershing Avenue. So that happened last weekend for 3 days. Next week, on Wednesday, August 14th, for those of you who don't know who Jim McClure is, he is a well-known and renowned historian in regards to York County. So he is going to be giving a presentation at 6:30 p.m. Regarding the book that he's updated called Never to Be Forgotten. He published this when the county had their 250th anniversary, and now he has updated it to reflect the 275th. Saturday, August 17th, we will be hosting a block party outside on Brooks Robinson Plaza at Wellspan Park. It's from 2 to 6. It is free, open to anyone. We've got all kinds of activities and vendors that will be there. That evening at the baseball game, we will have a pregame parade. We'll have the York County Honors Choir. We're going to do some special proclamations. There will be a birthday cake with 275 candles. Thank heavens the fire department will be there on hand for that. And then the baseball game will conclude with fireworks that were sponsored by our friends at America 250 PA. Oh, I skipped by just one. All right, on to Sunday. So we've got 2 events occurring on Sunday, and both are open to the public free of charge. We are going to let the county, residents of the county participate in creating a community art mural. That will be from 1 to 6 p.m. Very grateful to the York Elks Lodge number 213 for opening their facility to let us do this. We have a local artist, Ophelia Chambliss, who has designed the mural. And so if you want to paint, or even if you don't think you might be creative, come out. It's paint by numbers. It's really simple. So that is open to the community from 1 to 6 p.m. The plan is when that is completed, it'll be hung on the exterior side of the county administration building that faces the Yorktown for all of our residents and visitors to enjoy. Occurring also on August 18th at 4 p.m., as I mentioned earlier, we have a noted historian here in our community, Jim McClure. He will be doing a fireside chat at the Capitol Theater. Again, this is free, open to the public. That will be moderated by local talk show host Gary Sutton. Got some other events planned for the Capitol Theater, but that is the marquee item that will occur that afternoon. And then that brings us to Monday, the official date where the county will turn 275 years old. The ceremony will be held here in the York County Administration Center, right across the hall in the ceremonial courtroom. Again, this is open to the public for anyone who would like to join. We also will have this room available. If we fill that room, folks can also come in here and watch it remotely. We have a gentleman in our community who is going to be portraying Lieutenant Governor James Hamilton, and he will actually read the charter in which York County separated from Lancaster County 275 years ago. And then at noon, we are going to have a bell ringing across the county. You will probably recall back in those days, that's how people heard there was news to be spread. So we are going to honor that. At noon, we will have a bell ringing that will occur. We will ring our bell along with some other churches and a few trains. We're going to blow their whistles at noon. So lots of things planned for that weekend. We hope you can join us for one, if not all, of those activities. And that is it for my update on the county's 275th. I do want to thank our Register of Wills and Clerk of Orphans Court, Brian Tate, who has been helping me and others plan this activity. As you can see, there's been a lot of work that's done and coordinating with a lot of groups and individuals across the county. Also want to acknowledge Abby Gibb from the Planning Commission and Colleen Igo from the county, who have done a lot of the behind-the-scenes logistical work in order to make this happen. So those are individuals you might not see all the time, Abby and Colleen, but they have been working very, very hard to ensure that these 3 days are fun-filled and celebratory for the residents here in York County. So with that, I will move on to any additional public comment. Okay, hearing and seeing none, if I could have a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? All right, we are adjourned, and we do have a brief salary board meeting today.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the July 31st, 2024 salary board meeting as submitted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'll open up for any public comment related to items on the agenda. Hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to item number 4 on the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the positions, salaries, hours of work, and fringe benefits as provided by existing collective bargaining agreements or as set forth in the York County Employee Handbook or York County Policy Manual for the following departments and row offices as stated below, with no additional benefits or concessions unless otherwise noted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carries. An executive session of the salary board was held on August 1st, 2024 for the purposes of discussing personnel matters. I will open it up for any additional public comment. Hearing and seeing none, if I could have a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. And we will move on to the Board of Elections meeting. So I will call the Board of Elections meeting of August 7th to order. I will open up for any public comment related to items on the agenda. Hearing and seeing none, I'll ask our Director of Elections, Brian Schaefer, to come up and give a brief report.
Good morning, Commissioners. Happy Soggy Wednesday. So I've been looking forward to my director's report all morning. I come bearing stickers. So as you know, we did a sticker contest. They got delivered today. So I'm coming with the 3 different stickers we chose, or that were chosen, I should say. And all precincts will get 1 of each. Larger precincts will get multiples of each. That's my report. Thank you.
Okay, great. That's exciting. Can we
Yes.
see those?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We also will have the large poster board of the 3 students' designs. They'll be out in the rotunda during the county's birthday celebration for everyone to see.
Yep. There were 3 categories, right?
Right, yeah. They turned out nice, great. I will say that York County's gotten a lot of good press across the Commonwealth with other election departments for doing this. A couple folks are gonna copy us now. So I think that's very exciting.
There's been a few counties throughout the country that have reached out to me to ask if we could swap stickers. So we'll be swapping some stickers after this next election with
That's
some
awesome.
other counties. So
That's great. Great.
Good.
Okay, all right. If there's nothing else, we'll move on to item number 4. We have a couple motions regarding changes in polling locations.
I will
Yes.
make a.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
go ahead.
No,
Oh,
let him-
I'm sorry, Commissioner.
I make a motion to approve the relocation of the following polling places pursuant to 25 PS Act 2726, and there is listed in the agenda.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Now, Brian, we'll pass it over to you.
Commissioners, this morning we're asking to move 3 polling places for the upcoming general election. Conewago 1 is due to the school district asking us to relocate for the continuity of education. Jackson 1, Bailey's has been an amazing partner, and I want to thank them. The room they have is a little bit too small, especially for the general. As you see, Spring Grove Middle School is more than happy to take us. And York Township 3-3, they filled out a form saying they're unable to have it. I believe it's during Greek Fest, so we are asking to move that one to the York Township Municipal Building.
And I believe that that building also hosts another polling location. So
Yes.
you've checked the property and it's sufficient space for both.
Yes, ma'am. It shares it with York Township 2-2. I do believe that both of them will be able to survive it, or not survive, will be able to host an election in there.
Okay, great. Any other questions for Brian? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. So for folks watching that do vote in those areas, you will be getting an updated voter registration card that the elections office will send out. In addition, after today, the website will be updated to reflect the new polling locations. Okay, all right, I will open up for any additional public comment. Hearing and seeing none, if I could have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Have a great day, everybody, and we are thankful for the rain, especially for our farmers. They're cool.
I didn't see this.
Yeah, they're cool.
I like that.
Yeah.